I am going to extend my remarks for 1 minute, if you don't mind, Nathan, taking a moment to speak on behalf of my good friend Anna Polchowicz, who had to leave to catch an airplane to go back to Chicago. She is the granddaughter of a Polish officer who was killed at Katyn, and her father, Wojciech Seweryn, grew up in a small town in southeast Poland. He was raised to hate the communists because the communists killed his father. After the war in Poland, of course we all know, under communism, Katyn was kept a secret. Nevertheless, Mr. Seweryn came to Chicago eventually, feeling that he needed to do something to memorialize the victims of Katyn. And for about 40 years he worked on that project as an artist. For 10 years he struggled to raise the money and get the land for a monument to the officers killed at Katyn. And finally, on May 17, 2009, a beautiful monument was erected in Niles, Illinois at St. Adalbert Cemetery. It is a cross with the Virgin Mary holding not the infant Jesus, but an officer killed, the bullet through the back of his head. A very moving monument, and one that all of us in Chicago appreciate very much. It is ironic then that my good friend Anna's father, in April of 2010, was invited by the Russian Prime Minister to visit Katyn, and that he was on his way to the ceremony in the horrible plane crash. It is doubly ironic that Mr. Seweryn has now died in the same place that his father did so many years ago, and we pray for Anna and her family and thank them for this beautiful monument, which I hope all of you will visit when you come to Chicago. Speaking on my own behalf, I've brought with me a document that is 60 years old this week. This is a document called a confidential staff interview conducted on September 9th, 1952 by my father and Mr. Mitchell, John Mitchell, who was the chief counsel of the select committee. They were taking the statement of Hilda Shea. Hilda Shea, at the time of the war, worked at the FCC. There was an interlocking web of agencies that dealt with broadcasting at the Federal Communications Commission during the war. And of course, we were at war, and so much of it was understandable. My point today is that in this document, Hilda Shea acknowledges that as early as April of 1943, the United States government and its agencies knew about the Katyn massacre. They knew about the events in Katyn, and there was a specific plan afoot to make sure that the American public did not find out about it through manipulation of the media. And so I invite Congresswoman Kaptur and her staff to invite the archives to expand their searches to the Foreign Language Radio Wartime Control Committee, the FCC, the Special Studies Branch, the Office of War Information, the Foreign Broadcast Intelligence Service, the War Problems Division, the Bureau of Censorship, and in fact also the Nuremberg trials and the War College, all of which actively participated in one way or another through their staffs to make sure that Polish broadcasters on Polish language stations would not talk about Katyn, because if they talked about it, the American press would surely find out about it. And Mr. Paul and I have talked about this before, and we agree. During war, it is necessary for a country to keep its secrets. We understand that. But the magnitude of this secret and the reason for it, then, later, and even up to today, is unacceptable. Because, ladies and gentlemen, secrets are the enemy of a free society. We all know that, we all appreciate that, and we must continue to be vigilant in demanding that our government not keep unnecessary secrets from us. The story of Katyn, the genocide, the crime against humanity, those are stories that people of all nationalities need to understand, not only because we need to make sure that we know our own history, but so that we can make sure that it doesn't happen again. Thank you very much.